Welcome to the category of sports and recreation insurance. I'm George Nordhaus, host for the USA Insurance Network, and we're pleased to introduce one of the most well-known providers of this insurance coverage anywhere in the United States. John Sadler is president of Sadler Sports, and it's a general agency that our USA Network agencies represent. John, you've been working for this coverage for a long time. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Thanks, George. I have over 30 years of experience in the sports and recreation niche, and on an annual basis, our agency insures over 15,000 local groups as well as over 30 national sports associations, and I'm really passionate about protecting these organizations with both our fantastic insurance products and our simple but effective risk management tools.
Oh, you guys do a wonderful job. Very well known. We'll say, let's do an overview, John, of what is sports and recreation insurance.
Sports and recreation insurance is a specialty insurance product with policies that are customized for teams and leagues, sports camps and clinics, tournament hosts, health clubs, sports facility owners, and studios such as gymnastics, martial arts, and dance. These organizations all have unique risk, which require special insurance customizations.
Boy, I can see that they would. Well, there are a lot of sports accidents we hear about. What's the reality of it? Who suffers?
Well, we frequently see injuries to players, coaches, managers, referees, umpires, and other volunteers, and they need quality accident insurance so that they can seek medical treatment with little or no out-of-pocket expense. Also, if the accident policy covers the majority of the medical bills, that really takes away much of the incentive for the injured party to file a lawsuit.
I suspect thinking of lawsuits, I suspect there's a lot of legal responsibility, right?
Correct. Whenever there's a serious injury to either a spectator or player, the parties most often named in the lawsuit include the organization itself and its directors, officers, employees, and volunteers, which would include the coaches, managers, referees, and umpires, and also additional insureds, such as facility owners. Legal defense and settlement can be very, very expensive, and all of these parties are depending on the insurance agent to protect them with quality general liability insurance.
Speaking of a lot of general liability, what are the coverages involved generally in sports and recreation?
It's so important to buy quality sports insurance from a dependable source. The typical sports and rec organization needs 5 different policies, which are accident, general liability, directors and officers liability, crime, and equipment. Now, when I say quality insurance, I'm talking about high limits of coverage to protect against worst-case scenarios, the elimination of dangerous policy exclusions, which can result in uncovered claims, and in some custom coverage enhancements. And also, it's equally as essential that the quotes, the binding of coverage, and the certificates of insurance can be delivered with speed and convenience.
I can imagine that. I bet things are relief of panic sometimes right at the end. Well, yeah, I've heard you talk in the past about risk management, and what does that mean?
George, buying great insurance in itself is not enough. Sports and rec organizations also need to practice simple and effective risk management to prevent the injuries or lawsuits from occurring in the first place. Now, this requires support from their agent on a number of protections, such as waiver release and also written risk management programs for abuse molestation, concussion brain injury, and reduction of risk in facilities, equipment, instruction, supervision, sports injury care, and auto safety, just to name a few.
Wow, it's somewhat complicated, but I know it's vitally important. So, what's the next action step that our visitors should take if they want to know more about sports and recreation insurance?
I hope that our visitors will check out our more detailed educational video on sports and rec insurance. It explains the 5 policy types in more detail, including why each one is needed, what they cover, the limit options, and coverage options available, and what the premium is based upon. Also, we describe the speed and convenience of our online technology, which allows the local agent to get a quote, bind coverage, and actually issue certificates in as little as 10 minutes.
Wow.
I think the educational video will help sports and rec organizations become informed decision makers about insurance and risk management.
Oh, I think it will. I know I recorded it with you, and it's very much in depth. but it's very interesting because you just go one to the other and tell the story, and they're off and running. Well, I thank you very much, really, for presenting this, and I suggest that the visitor go to the sponsoring USA agency. You'll see a link down there, and that agency will take care of you. We'll be working with John and his group and make sure that, well, you have the very, very best. John, I want to thank you again for doing such a nice presentation for us.
Thanks, George.